Hi! Continuing the short series of films about things to give up to be happy, this one is perhaps a little more controversial. It's this. It's wanting to please people. Now you might say, why on earth would you want to give up pleasing people? Because actually pleasing people is a nice thing to do. But it's being a people pleaser, that's really what we're talking about. It's pleasing other people in preference to yourself, or it's pleasing other people in spite of yourself, and it's not prioritizing your wants and needs enough. Now, when you do that, it creates a whole raft of problems. Many years ago, I studied quite an intensive self-development program for a number of years, and we had a phrase that I always liked and I've always remembered, and it's this: your being attracts your life. The kind of person you are attracts the kind of life that you have. So let's imagine, for instance, that you were a greedy person. You could never be satisfied. Whatever you had was never enough. What kind of life are you going to attract to yourself? You're always going to be thinking that you haven't got enough. You're always going to be judging people as not giving you what you want. And in fact, you're always going to be disappointed. Other people, of course, are going to see you as very needy and greedy and not very sharing and caring. Let's suppose that you were a bully. And so you're always trying to dominate people, put other people down so that you feel better, and you're always trying to sort of overpower situations so that you're in charge, even if you're not the person who should be in charge. What kind of life are you going to attract to yourself? Well, people aren't going to like you very much, people are going to try and avoid you, and the people that do come into your orbit are going to tend to be oppressed by you, which is not a very nice thing. Now, suppose you went through life feeling not good enough, feeling that you weren't enough as a person, somehow there's something wrong with you, that you're unlikable, that people don't really want to be with you. One strategy to get around that is to always please people so that they'll be with you, so that they'll stay with you, as if there's a kind of a deal, right? If I do everything that you want, you won't leave me. If I do everything that you require and more, over and above, 110%, then you'll always care for me when I need something, or you'll always be there when I want something in return. The trouble is, that's actually not what happens. If you don't value yourself, other people treat you as if you have no value, because people treat you as you expect to be treated. So if you don't feel that you have any value, no matter what you do to please other people, they will in the end treat you as if you have no value. And of course, this is the path towards domestic abuse and bullying and other kinds of horrible relationship situations. So pleasing people in preference or in spite of yourself is a very poor strategy to combat your own feelings of not being good enough. Instead, as an alternative, we need to recognize that your feeling of not being very good or not being good enough or in some way not being quite what is required is wrong. It's just a belief. True, it directs your behavior and your emotions, but it's just a belief. But it's also not getting you what you want, right? Because in fact, if you try to please people, what happens? They take you for granted, they treat you like a slave, they don't appreciate what you do, and you can work 26 hours a day trying to please them, and they still don't appreciate it. It's not giving you what you want. So an alternative strategy is to actually be yourself. Recognize that you have needs, and they're legitimate needs. If you want something, you want it. You don't have to have a reason to want it, you just want it. You don't have to have an excuse. It's not a bad thing that you want something, or you feel that you deserve something, or that you require something. That is human. And so the substitute, or the different way of being, if you like, instead of pleasing people, is to put yourself at the center of your world. And everyone else then is on like concentric circles out from there, right? What you want actually is the most important thing. Now, obviously, if you're a mother and you have children, the children's needs often come first before the mum's. But it's not a way of life that can perpetuate throughout the children's adult life. You have to be important to you. If you're important to you and you're nourished and you get what you need, then you have capacity to help other people. So put yourself at the center of your world. What you want is important. What other people want, sure, that's important. But not instead of what you want, not despite what you want. It's got to be a deal, right? Any good relationship is a partnership, it's a balance, right? I give you what you need, you give me what I need, we're all happy and satisfied. Not, I will give you everything that I have, and you might give me something, because I don't like to ask for it, should I need it. Well, in fact, often they don't give it to you. So being a people pleaser, I'm prepared to suggest, doesn't get you what you want. It doesn't get you unconditional regard. It doesn't get you friends and friendships. It doesn't even get you good relationships, really. Put yourself at the center of your world. Live authentically. Live genuinely. You know, you're a human being and you have needs and wants, desires and ambitions. These are yours, own them. And that is living an authentic kind of real existence. And then everyone else treats you as a real person, not as someone who pathologically has to please. Clearly, we need to please people, people need to please us, but it's doing it to the detriment of yourself. And if you feel that, you know, that you're down, you don't get valued, you get overlooked, people don't give you enough time and space, people don't help you to do what you need to do, then probably, or potentially at least, you're going above and beyond the requirements to please other people. So, if you want to be happier, stop trying to please other people and start trying to please yourself. Thanks for taking the time to watch and listen.